Welcome to Shooting It Straight with Stan. I'm your host, Stan, the Annuity Man. America's annuity agent, licensed in all 50 states and Puerto Rico. Today's topic's a good one. It comes from a bunch of calls here recently that I've been taking. It's annuity strategies for 80 and 90-year-olds. Now, I was going to title this Annuity Strategies for Old Geezers, but you got to define what a geezer is. I actually like the word geezer. Actually, the only person I know with the name Geezer is a bass player, Geezer Butler, if you know who that is. But anyway, so let's talk about if you're in your 80s and 90s, are there annuities that you should consider? And if so, what are those? I will tell you right now, you do not need, at age 80 and above, anything like a indexed annuity, a variable annuity, a registered index-linked annuity. Do not buy the dream, okay? When you're in your 80s, you need to be, in my opinion, protecting the principal or creating a lifetime income stream. Don't let some Johnny Appleseed agent idiot, I was going to say numbnut, sorry, sell you the dream of some index product or variable product. You do not need that. You need that like you need a hole in your head, okay? So for the people out there that have annuities like variable annuities and you're in your mid-80s, I'm getting a lot of calls from obviously the kids, and they're sitting there with mom. Well, she bought this variable annuity in 72. What do we do with it? What you need to consider with that is if you're let's just say your mom doesn't need lifetime income, or you're in your 80s and you don't need lifetime income, but you certainly don't need a variable annuity of which you're paying 2 to 3% in fees every year, because you've already built them a building. You need to consider doing what's called a non-taxable event transfer to like a multi-year guarantee annuity, and that's what we did with this lady. It's a CD type annuity. It's a guaranteed interest rate annuity. If it's non-IRA assets, like you bought it with checking account type money, your variable annuity or index annuity or whatever, that's a 1035 transfer. 1035 is the IRS code that says when you transfer from one annuity to another annuity, it's a non-taxable event. It does not trigger any taxes. I say that slowly so you understand that if you decide to work with us and we found that transfer, we're going to take care of that. It's a non-taxable event. The cost basis does transfer. Now, with multi-year guarantee annuities, we sometimes reach the fork in the road moment because a lot of carriers will not sell it to you after you're 85, and most, if not all, won't sell you a MIGA past age 90. So what do, Stan the Annuity Man? Let's take the specific case of this lady that had the variable annuity. She had the variable annuity. She was 87 years old. She did not need the income. She did not need the money. It was a legacy play. She's leaving that money to her beneficiaries, kids. So I said, I know this sounds crazy, but stay with me. I want you to transfer the variable annuity to a 10-year guaranteed MIGA. Why 10? Stan, she's 87. Why would you do that? Because after age 90, she can't buy anything. So we put it in place. And so at age 97, it's going to return. It's going to mature. Okay. So the question is, all right, Stan the Annuity Man, Mr. Smarty Pants, what happens at age 97? What does she do at age 97? There's only one thing. And what she buys is a 10-year period certain immediate annuity. So she does another 1035 non-taxable event transfer to the highest paying 10-year pay period certain. So it's going to pay for 10 consecutive years. After that, there's no more money. But the good news about the 10-year period certain is it lengthens out the tax liability of all of that cost basis that's been transferring. So what have I done? I've taken her from 87 to 97 with the MIGA, and from 97 with the MIGA to 107 with an immediate annuity. Sound pretty good? Now, another gentleman, he was 92. Well, certainly you can't buy a MIGA because that cutoff is typically 90. So at 92, what do? Of course, I'm on the phone with the family and I say, okay, would income make sense at this point? Because that's really, with an annuities, that's really the only thing that's suitable and appropriate for him. They're like, yeah, that actually works. We did actually a 15-year period certain. And you go, wait a minute, Sam. He's probably not going to live to 107. that's okay because there's going to be 15 years of payments for somebody. But let's just say he does live to 105. There's payments. A lot of times we're taking, people that are in their 80s and 90s back when they were in their 60s, they bought variable annuities typically because the index annuities weren't even around. Okay, but in most cases, but so they're buying variable annuities and they've had these variable annuities forever. All right, and the best thing to do is to strip out all the fees, lock in the gain, and then put it in a MYGA. Now, there's one caveat to that. If the variable annuity have what's called an income benefit attached to it, or some contractual death benefit attached to it, we're going to make sure that we're not going to just transfer it to transfer it. We're going to make sure that we're going to upgrade from where you're going to where you're going to be, and we're not leaving benefits on the table. There are times that I'll say, yeah, I've looked at your variable annuity. If you just send me a statement of that, stan@theannuityman.com, I'll take a look at the statement and say, that's not movable. I tell the truth so I don't have to remember anything. There's no agendas. I've sold a quadrillion, actually multiple billions of dollars of annuities. I do this because I want to do this. I do this because I'm the best. I do this because I'm America's annuity agent. I do this because people need to hear the truth. I do this because people don't need to just be sold some product. They need solutions. They need insight. So if you're in your 80s or 90s, or if you're caring for someone in their 80s or 90s, there are solutions that are very, very simple. No fees, no market attachments, no moving parts, just contractual. There's solutions for just principal protection, and there's solutions for income. So just don't sit there and say, well, there's nothing to do. We're too old, or, well, about that annuity, I guess I just got to hang on to it. We might can upgrade it. And we might can strip out the fees so you don't have to pay any fees. And we might protect those assets for any type of downturn so you can leave that money to your beneficiaries. And we might set it up to where you can enjoy the money. Maybe pay for assisted living, in-home care, something like that. We can do that with annuity contractual guarantees. There are annuity solutions for people in their 80s and 90s. But it's not the whiz-bang fancy products, bonus products, all that stuff. Please don't do that. I'm begging you, please. I hear horror stories about people in their 80s being sold 10-year indexed annuities. They need that like they need a hole in the head. Come on now. You've already won the game. Don't play anymore. Don't play around with hopes and dreams and sales pitches. Buy the contractual guarantees. We represent every single carrier on the planet. But for these specific cases, for 80s and 90-year-olds, I'm going to say old geezers because I hope to be an old geezer one day. Stan the geezer annuity man. How about that? I won't have any teeth, Zeke, but it'll be unique. I'm going to handle your case personally. If I'm alive. Time of this taping, I'm alive, right, Zeke? Kind of. But, email me, stan@theannuityman.com, or just, I don't know what, do we? I don't even know what our fax number is. Scan and email me the statement. If you can't do that, I couldn't do that. I don't know how to do that. Just, put the specifics of what you own in the email. I'll take a look. I'll give you a call. We'll talk about it and see if there's a legitimate solution that fits you and fits your family and fits your goals contractually, not hypothetically, contractually. So there are good strategies, moral, ethical, suitable strategies for people in their 80s and 90s. We just have to have that conversation. All right? That's Shooting It Straight with Stan. See you next time.